Hello everyone, I'm Ella. Today we'll talk about unique, magnific, and valuable place in the world, Forbidden City. The Forbidden City is Imperial Palace complex in the center of Imperial City.
Located in the heart of Beijing, immediately north from Tiananmen Square, its massive 178-acre palace complex that served as imperial home to 24 Ming and Qing dynasty emperors from 1420 to 1924. The palace is now administered by the Palace Museum as the world's largest preservation of ancient wooden structures, has been a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1987. The Forbidden City is arguably the most famous palace in all of Chinese history, and its largest preserved royal palace complex still standing in the world. Now operates as the Palace Museum, featuring traditional Chinese art and architecture. When the Hongwu Emperor's son Zhu Di became the Yongle Emperor, he moved the capital from Nanjing to Beijing, and construction began in 1406 on what would become the Forbidden City.
The construction lasted 14 years and required more than 1 million workers.
Material used include whole logs of precious Feibei Zhennan wood, found in the jungles of southwestern China, and large blocks of marble from quarries near Beijing. The floors of major halls were paved with golden bricks, specially baked paving bricks from Suzhou.
It served as a home of Chinese emperors and their households,
and was ceremonial and political center of Chinese government for over 500 years. The palace is extremely important to the Chinese public and the nation, who often view it as culture and heavily linked to their ancestors. Since 1925, the Forbidden City has been under the charge of Palace Museum. The palace exemplifies the opulence of the residences of Chinese emperor and the traditional Chinese palatial architecture, and has influenced the cultural and architectural developments in East Asia and elsewhere. Since 2012, the Forbidden City has seen an average of 14 million visitors annually, and received more than 19 million visitors in 2019. In 2018, the Forbidden City's market value was estimated at $70 billion, making it both the world's most valuable palace and the most valuable piece of real estate anywhere in the world. The complex features strict, symmetric design along a north-to-south axis, representing supreme imperial power. Is a masterpiece of traditional Chinese architecture, includes the Hall of Supreme Harmony, Palace of Heavenly Purity, and surrounding residential areas, which now house vast collections of imperial art and artifacts.
Forbidden City is rectangle, measuring 961 meters from north to south and 753 meters from east to west.
It consists of 980 surviving buildings with 8,886 bays of rooms. A common myth states that there are 9,999 rooms, including antechambers, based on oral tradition, but is not supported by survey evidence. The layout of Forbidden City protected the imperial code of ethics as physical installation. The courtyard was built on massive luxury scale, but it has the appearance of a quadrangle courtyard. The Forbidden City was designed to be the center of the ancient walled city of Beijing. It's enclosed in a larger walled area called the Imperial City. The Imperial City is in turn enclosed by the inner city to its south lies the outer city. The Forbidden City is surrounded by a 7.9-meter high city wall and a 6-meter deep by 52-meter wide moat. The walls are 8.62 meter wide at the base, tapering to 6.66 meter at the top.
These walls serve as defensive walls and retaining walls for the palace.
At the four corners of the wall, fortifications dating to the 15th and 18th centuries sit corner towers with intricate roofs boasting 72 ridges, reproducing the Pavilion Princeton and Yellow Crane Pavilion, as they appeared in the Song Dynasty paintings. These towers are the most visible parts of the palace to people outside the walls, and much folklore is attached to them.
The wall is pierced by a gate on each side.
At the southern end is the main Meridian Gate. To the north is the Gate of Divine Flowers, which faces Jingshan Park. The east and west gates are the East Glorious Gate and the West Glorious Gate. All gates in the Forbidden City are decorated with 9 by 9 arrays of golden door nails, except for the East Glorious Gate, which has only 8.
Traditionally, the Forbidden City is divided into two parts.
The outer court or front court to the south, which was used for ceremonial purposes, and the inner court or back palace to the north, which was the residence of emperor and his family, and was used for day-to-day affairs of state. Generally, the Forbidden City has 3 vertical axes. The most important buildings are situated on the central north to south axis. Entering from the Meridian Gate, one enters a large square pierced by the meandering inner Golden Water River, which is crossed by 5 bridges. The bridges include sculpted balustrades that look like clouds to invoke the celestial lineage of the emperor. Beyond the square stands the Gate of Supreme Harmony. Behind that is square from which its 3-tiered white marble terrace rises, and 3 halls stand on top of this terrace, the focus of the palace complex. From the south, these are the Hall of Supreme Harmony, and the Hall of Central Harmony, and the Hall of Preserving Harmony.
At the center of inner court is another set of 3 halls.
From the south, these are Palace of Heavenly Purity, Hall of Union, Palace of Earthly Tranquility. Smaller than the outer court halls, the 3 halls of the inner court were the official residences of the emperor and the empress. The emperor, representing Yang and the heavens, would occupy the Palace of Heavenly Purity. The empress, representing Yin and the earth, would occupy the Palace of Earthly Tranquility. In between them was the Hall of Union, where the yin and yang mixed to produce harmony. To the west and to the east of the 3 main halls of the inner court are the 6 western palaces and the 6 eastern palaces. These palaces were the residences of imperial consuls. 6 palaces to the west and 6 to the east of the 3 main halls, hence the name. The architecture of the 12 palaces connected by passageways is more or less the same. The western and eastern palaces each have a layout of 3 palaces on either side of an alley that runs from north to south. Every palace has its own courtyard, main halls, and side halls. The main halls stand in the middle and the side halls in the east and west.
The front courtyard and its hall was used for reception,
while the backyard and its main hall served as living quarters. Western 6 palaces include Palace of Eternal Longevity, Hall of Supreme Principle, Palace of Eternal Spring, Palace of Earthly Honor, Palace of Gathering Elegance, Palace of Universal Happiness. Eastern 6 palaces included Palace of Great Benevolence, Palace of heavenly grace, Palace of cumulated purity, Palace of prolonging happiness, Palace of great brilliance, Palace of internal harmony.
The design of Forbidden City, from its overall layout to the smallest details,
was meticulously planned to reflect philosophical and religious principles, and above all to symbolize the majesty of imperial power. Some noted examples of symbolic designs include: yellow is the color of emperor. Thus, almost all roofs in the Forbidden City bear yellow glazed tiles. The main halls of outer and inner courts are all arranged in group of 3, the shape of the Qian trigram, 3 representing heaven. The sloping ridges of building roofs are decorated with a line of statues, led by a man riding a phoenix and followed by the imperial dragon.
After briefly recording history, architecture, and symbolism for Forbidden City, I'm reminded of common saying based on oral tradition that emperors had 3,000 concubines. I'm always curious, were those concubines even emperors or happy living in the Forbidden City? By the way, most of Chinese emperors did not live very long, even if they have the best imperial doctors and the best medicinal resources.
Their glory and hardship, their brilliance and suffering, are buried all together in the long river of history. And the Forbidden City is the only evidence that they ever existed.
Thank you for being with me, and see you next time. Don't forget, give me fun.